What's good, YouTube? This your boy Money Miss TV, coming to you straight off the hip. Man, I've just been reading some NBA trade rumors. You know, the 76ers still thinking about trading Nerlens Noel or Jahlil Okafor. The Phoenix Suns is most likely going to trade Brandon Knight at the trade deadline. John Wall wants to be traded from the Washington Wizards, although he never said it publicly, but you could tell by his actions he wanted to be traded. DeMarcus Cousins wanted to be traded from Sacramento. Rudy Gay is most likely to be traded from Sacramento. And the list goes on and on. There's one solution for my team, the Milwaukee Bucks, that can put them over the hump. They need to bring back Brandon Knight. Yes, I said Brandon Knight. The reason why they need to bring back Brandon Knight, they had a good run with Brandon Knight. They actually made the playoffs that year when they had Brandon Knight, but they traded him before the deadline and brought in Michael Carter-Williams because they quote-unquote said Michael Carter-Williams was a better point guard and he had more upside, which I kept saying the whole time. Michael Carter-Williams is garbage. And Brandon Knight that year was a borderline all-star. If he would have stayed one more year, he would have been an all-star that year. Now, the best trade for the Bucks and the Suns to make, it would be an even trade, straight up, no draft picks whatsoever. So here's the trade. Milwaukee need to give Greg Monroe over to the Suns for Brandon Knight. And here's the reason why. The Bucks is missing point guard play. The Suns is missing interior scoring at the low post. So they need low post scoring in that area. The Bucks need point guard play. It's the perfect trade that should happen. If the Bucks were smart enough, they can bring back Brandon Knight and still keep his contract. And also the reason why they traded Brandon Knight for Michael Carter-Williams in that 3-team trade, because of the fact it was way before the collective bargaining agreement started at that time, and Brandon Knight contract at that time was quote-unquote too much, and it was over the salary cap, so they went ahead and dumped his salary, which was stupid. So all the Bucks need to do is go ahead, give up Greg Monroe for Brandon Knight, bring Brandon Knight back to Milwaukee, and that would be the best thing ever. I think Milwaukee Bucks will be good. Brandon Knight will be a borderline all-star if he goes back to the Bucks. I can imagine it now. Brandon Knight at the 1, Chris Middleton at the 2, Giannis at the 3, Jabari at the 4. Then you got, John Henson at the 5 or Plumlee at the 5. And then you have Thon Maker coming off the bench, Malcolm Brogdon coming off the bench also, which Malcolm Brogdon to me is like a shorter version of Michael Redd. That's who he remind me of. If he develops a good jump shot, he'll be just like Michael Redd. But the Bucks will be a fully loaded team with young talent, and that team will be a playoff threat. So that's my thing. Also, if the 76ers is going to trade either Nerlens Noel or Jahlil Okafor, I feel like the 76ers need to trade Jahlil Okafor to the Lakers, which that will bring a buzz to his brand, and also that will bring a buzz to the Lakers. If you think about it, all the Lakers need to do is dump Luol Deng's contract, give Luol Deng over to the 76ers. You bring Jahlil Okafor. Now you have a young nucleus, a potential big three of D'Angelo Russell, Jahlil Okafor, and Brandon Ingram. And then you have your utility player, your all-around player, which is Julius Randle, a.k.a. the next Draymond Green. It'll work out. Now for Nerlens Noel, I think a good team that will fit just perfectly for Nerlens Noel is New Orleans. If the 76ers trade Nerlens Noel to New Orleans, that would be good. You could slide Anthony Davis finally to his natural position at the 4 spot, where he could stretch the floor, rebound, block shots, and then Nerlens Noel, all he could do is just contribute in defense and rebounding and put back dunks, and it'll work just perfectly. But the only thing they will be missing is a point guard. once Drew Holiday, gets his rhythm back, that team will be a borderline playoff team. Also, what I said earlier in recent videos about the LA Clippers about acquiring a certain player they need to get from Sacramento is Rudy Gay. I feel like if the Clippers make a move of getting Rudy Gay some type of way, then the Clippers can make a deep playoff run with Rudy Gay. Now imagine the starting lineup. Pretty much Chris Paul at the 1, JJ Redick at the 2, Rudy Gay at the 3, Blake Griffin at the 4, DeAndre Jordan at the 5. Then you got Austin Rivers coming off the bench, Jamal Crawford coming off the bench. Then you have other players contributing too. And if you think about it, Rudy Gay is the missing piece to the LA Clippers. But at the same time, I don't trust Doc Rivers as a GM, because Doc Rivers as a GM is a horrible GM to me. And the reason why he's a horrible GM, he can't never fill holes in certain spots. Like, the team been lacking a 3-man for the past 4 to 5 years. And Doc Rivers always will pick the totally opposite by bringing in another center or another power forward, or bringing in another, shooting guard. But they never brought a good, decent, solid 3-man. And although they did the experiment with Lance Stevenson, that didn't work, and the experiment with Jeff Green, and that didn't work, they should have just picked to get someone that is consistent. And that was the problem with Doc Rivers bringing in Jeff Green and Lance Stevenson, 2 inconsistent players. You bring in Rudy Gay, you get a consistent 18 to 21 point scorer that could just put buckets in while Blake Griffin is chilling on the bench. Simple as that. Also, another team I was thinking about was the Washington Wizards. I think the Washington Wizards need to go ahead and just trade John Wall. John Wall been just doing a whole lot of stuff. He's showing it by his actions that he don't want to be in Washington no more. He never said it publicly, but you could just tell by his actions he wants to be traded. A good team that can take John Wall, and it would be perfect. It would be a perfect situation. Trade John Wall to the Knicks for Derrick Rose, straight up. Derrick Rose can pretty much be down there with Bradley Beal, and then John Wall could be with the Knicks in the big spotlight with Melo, which that could elevate John Wall's game. But would that work in New York? The triangle is not suited for a point guard like John Wall. So I think the Knicks is one team, but the only way that will work, they have to fire their coach, fire Phil Jackson, bring in a coach that plays a more faster-paced game. So yeah. Or another team John Wall could go to is, this is a good team. Trade John Wall to New Orleans. That would be good. You trade John Wall to New Orleans for Drew Holiday. Trade John Wall to Sacramento and have him pair up with Boogie Cousins. They would become a playoff team with just them two. Or you could just trade John Wall to another team that would be good for him. Let's just say trade John Wall to Miami for Gordon Dragic. Think about it. John Wall swap for Gordon Dragic. Gordon Dragic will go up there to Washington with Bradley Beal. John Wall goes down there with Hassan Whiteside and a bunch of role players. So that would be a good fit for John Wall also. But anyway, yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think will be the best move for these NBA players. This your boy Money Mitch TV, and I'm out.